What is up, Hawk fans? I wanted to briefly discuss, hopefully in under 5 minutes here, the fact that Iowa football is ranked 20th in the college football playoff, the first one that was released in the 2025-2026 football season, otherwise known, I believe, as the 2025 football season. Not exactly sure how that works, but I'm not surprised by it. I did post on Facebook either Saturday or Sunday. I said to watch out for the college football playoff rankings because it is obvious. Maybe I'll pull up exactly my post here. My post was Iowa football is 17th in the Sagarin ratings, and there's all these different computer type ratings. And I said it will be interesting to see if they are in top 25 of college football playoff rankings because, it's pretty well known that Iowa actually is pretty highly ranked in a lot of the rating type metrics that, are not basically the AP poll. That obviously has its own bias, recency bias, brand bias, the whole 9 yards. So I think where they're at is accurate, 20th. It sets up for a massive showdown against Oregon. This is a massive opportunity. It couldn't be a bigger opportunity. And I've said all year long that ultimately these are the games that are going to decide in the end kind of where Iowa is at and, whether they have taken leaps forward with the likes of Tim Lester stepping onto the roster with the new quarterback situation, because the bottom line is Beth Gates has been looking for some upticks, a slight change from the status quo. And I like that about her thus far. And part of that is winning every now and again one of these top 25 games, one of these top 25 matchups with a top 25 caliber team. So this is a huge game. I already did my game preview on it. I'm not going to talk about the ins and outs. If Iowa wins, they will absolutely be in the conversation as the fourth Big Ten team to make the college football playoff. It looks like increasingly like the Big Ten will have four teams making the college football playoff. I think at this point, if you look at the Power Four conferences, the top two obviously are the Big Ten and the SEC. They are the two conferences that the committee respects the most and is kind of expecting the most out of. If we look at the college football playoff, I think the SEC has 5 teams that would be in. Yeah, if it started today, they'd have Texas A&M, Alabama, that's 2, Georgia 3, Ole Miss 4, Texas 5, Oklahoma 6. So it actually might be 7 because Vanderbilt's, it's actually 7, which is a stupidly high number. Stupid high number. So huge matchup. Lastly, Iowa men's basketball. I just kind of wanted to give an additional set of thoughts after the post game and after kind of the dust had settled. At every turn, we are reminded on why ultimately Fran McCaffrey needed to go. I will hold on to the idea that it's not always that black and white, and hindsight is always 1,000. It's 100%. But, and again, I said based on the roster, and I still hold on to this, that based on the roster, that Fran McCaffrey was still accumulating talent and developing talent, and they probably would have been an NCAA projected team going into this year, assuming everybody came back. Dix, Owen Freeman, which, by the way, is a big if. I can almost guarantee at least one of those guys would have left. But, Price Sanford, Josh Dix, Bryce, I think Iowa would, and Fran McCaffrey would have been able to hold on to a majority of their guys. All of them, probably not. They probably would have lost at least one, likely even two. But the reason Fran McCaffrey was let go was, yes, partially the recent on the court issues. It wasn't terrible, but it was not where we as the fan base wanted it to be. And yes, Fran McCaffrey was a slight victim of his own success. And from that standpoint, myself and others were open to giving him one more shot because he had been such a winning coach for Iowa men's basketball and had brought them out of the basement of mediocrity or just flat out terribleness. But in the end, Fran McCaffrey was let go because, and I've said this time and time again, but it's worth repeating, especially in relation with Ben McCollum, he was let go because there was an apathetic feeling from the fan base and a failure ultimately from Fran McCaffrey to connect with the fan base. And you can see in Ben McCollum's first partial year to this point, I guarantee that was discussed from Beth Gates towards Ben McCollum, that they were looking for a coach that could connect, that could rejuvenate, revitalize the men's basketball program. And, that's that. So I guarantee they had that conversation. Sorry, guys, I got a text message on my phone, got a little distracted. And we can see in Ben McCollum's response that this is important to him, and it needs to be important. By him high-fiving the student section, by him going on all these podcasts, by him just being a straight shooter, open and honest guy. His press conference, I loved it. Him saying, like, what are we here for? Let's get lit. Let's go. I love that mindset. I love that enthusiasm. Let's get everybody here jumping and vibing, and let's get this program back even higher than what Fran McCaffrey was able to get it to. And it's going to take some time. I mean, they might have some success this year, but to reach the heights that we're looking for, it's going to take some time, and that's okay. But it's going to start with the fan base. It's going to start with, players coming to the arena and being like, you know what? This place is awesome. Like how players feel when they visit Kinnick. And that was gone under Fran. A lot of what Fran was able to do was just, being able to reach back to his development history and history on the court. But as far as the atmosphere and stuff, it was hit or miss. Maybe Fran McCaffrey was able to connect on a basketball level, but again, we just needed more. We needed something different. We needed a shot of anecdote into the system. And Ben McCollum is going to have to wear many hats to get all of that taken care of. And I think he knows that. That was discussed with Beth Gates. And so far, we're seeing it. We're seeing it with the NIL money. We're seeing it with the, putting the program out there and going on podcasts and, talking with people, being open, honest, and transparent, showing pride in the University of Iowa and wearing it proudly. I don't think Fran McCaffrey ever really felt that. He always felt kind of like an outsider, even when he was having success. And even towards the end, he felt like a Philadelphia guy that was a good basketball coach in Iowa City, which is okay. That it's not the end all be all, but it does have its limitations. Whereas Ben McCollum, it feels like an Iowa guy. You know, I never got the sense that Fred McCaffrey was like, this is Iowa. I love Iowa. Let's be Iowa together. Let's roll. You know, whereas Ben McCollum, I can feel that. Now, I don't want to jump the gun and overreact, but thus far, that's what it's been. So this is awesome, guys. I've gone over the 5-minute mark, but that's all right. So far, so good. Cannot wait to continue to see how things go. Of course, I'm going to give you guys an honest evaluation every step of the way. I do think we need to give Ben McCollum some space to land the plane and kind of get things rolling. But I'm going to call strikes, and balls. So, and some of you guys obviously don't like that. That's okay. Like I always say, this might not be the channel for you, but so far, so good. I love everything he's doing. I said when I gave an evaluation in a previous video, I'd give him an A, very close to an A+. You know, it hasn't been completely perfect, but it's been really good. Like, I don't know that we could ask for much better. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment. Y'all know the drill. Last but not least, deep out. Don't be a pussy willow. Facts are feelings because your feelings just matter. Love you, Hawk fans. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.